Kuma, Yahweh, Weafutsu Yeveka, Mianusa Misaneka Misaneka. Arise of you, O Yahweh. Let your enemies be scattered, and let those that hate thee flee from before thee.
Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Into All Truth. May the Ruach HaKodesh lead you into all truth and show you things to come. In the name of Yahusha. Shalom, family. Thank you for donations. And please pick up Into All Truth, the Moed Appointed Times calendar, or try to Eat Life Fast to keep the Hebraic lifestyle. New calendar is out. It is out, so just order it. I'm just doing some little tweaks on it, but as long as you order it, you will get it. And anybody who kind of ordered it in the last several months or who was donating for the last several months. So, and of course, everybody who's continually donating obviously gets it. So may Yah bless you with the hearing of this word. May the Ruach HaKodesh lead you into all truth and show you things to come and bring forth the seed of righteousness in your heart. I pray Yah protect and guide this message and lead us into all truth. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I pray and I give all praises to the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. So today we're going to look at and explore when Moses struck the rock. And we're going to try to connect that to the location of the land of Israel, its relationship to the tree of life, and pose the question as to where do living waters come from and how does that relate to the tree and the tree of life. So this is another one of these mysteries of Yah kind of videos and the search for the land. So I hope you enjoy this one. It's a short one. It's only about 20 minutes long, but let's get into it. Remember when Moses is in the wilderness and Yah tells him to strike the rock because the people are complaining about their thirst, right? He strikes this rock. But if you'll recall, and he does it twice, so this is what gets him, prevents him from entering the land. And the people reviled Moses, saying, would we had died in the destruction of our brethren before Yahuwah? And wherefore have you brought up the congregation of Yahuwah into this wilderness to kill us and our cattle? Wherefore is this? You have brought us up out of Egypt that we should come into this evil place, a place where there is no sowing, neither figs nor vines nor pomegranates, neither is there water to drink. And Moshe and Aaron went from before the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of witness, and they fell on their faces, and the glory of Yahuwah appeared to them. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, take the rod and call the assembly, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye to the rock before them. And it shall give forth its waters, and ye shall bring forth for them water out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their cattle. And Moshe took his rod, which was before Yahuwah as commanded, and Moses and Aaron assembled the congregation before the rock, and said to them, hear me, ye disobedient ones. Must we bring you water out of the rock? Moshe lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his rod twice. And much water came forth, and the congregation drank, and their cattle. And Yahuwah said to Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not to sanctify me before the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. This is the water of strife, because the children of Israel spoke insolently before Yahuwah, and he was sanctified in them. So what we find is the instruction here is that Yah says, take thy rod, call the assembly, and speak to the rock before them, and it shall give forth their water. And ye shall bring forth them water out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their cattle. And so what happens is he strikes the rock twice instead of speaking. All right, so smite the shepherd, scatter the sheep. That's kind of what he did because he got angry. Take this with a grain of salt. So this is the Targum version, which take it more as a historical book, not necessarily pure word. It can inform content. So this is what Yah says to Moses and Aaron in the Targum. Take the rod of miracles and gather the congregation, thou and Aharon thy brother, and both of you adjure the rock by the great and manifested name. So in the name of Yah, while they look on, and it shall give forth its water. So this is giving glory to Yah's name. But if it refuses to bring forth, smite it thou once with the rod that is in thy hand, and thou wilt bring out water for them from the rock, that the congregation and their cattle may drink. But what happens is they gather before the congregation and then say, "Hear now, rebels, is it possible to bring forth water from this rock?" And Moshe lifted up his hand and with his rod struck the rock 2 times. At first time it dropped blood, but at the second time there came forth a multitude of waters, and the congregation and their cattle drank. So you can see that this was why it's called the waters of contention, because also Moses and Aaron strove with Yah. And so what they do in this other chapter is, all Yah says is, take thy rod, call the assembly, and speak to the rock. So he is told to bring the rod with him, the staff with him. All right. He is not told to bring forth the waters by smiting. Okay. You shall bring forth, speak to the rock, speak to the rock, speak to the rock, and you shall bring forth waters. But remember, I've shown you guys this map of Africa. And of course, it's from a lower perspective. It's not a top view. It's like not a plane view, but just slightly above the plane. And remember, we all kind of understand that a lot of mountains were once trees, but the angels made a work of the trees, right? Which they were cast down because of the flood, or perhaps the angels or the fallen ones, I'm not sure, made a work of the trees and cut them down. So a lot of what we know to be mountains today could actually be just tree trunks, right? In Africa and stuff. And so a lot of them, like this one, for example, which might just be Jerusalem, even though it's lower down, but it's near the mouth of Africa, okay? Mm-hmm. Has multiple streams in it. The streams of Gihon are supposed to be underneath where the temple was built in Yasharel, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, well, when he struck this rock, what was he striking? Was he striking a tree? And water came out of it, right? And this is what I found this week, which is really curious to me. So let's take a look at this video.
And now in all pictures, you can see there was a fountain here right in the center. And now there's a mountain. So something is under this mountain. What's underneath? Why they make a mountain here? Yeah. Then this little building there, this has been here since, from the beginning. They haven't changed that. That's some pumping house, pumping system. But yeah, if you zoom in on this one, from above, what are you gonna get? You get the Illuminati eye, right? All-seeing eye. Yeah. And also, if you go up from this, right, straight up, you have another circle there, and then you have another one. So there's 3 major circles.
Okay, so when you look, I'm showing you this Baobab tree, because this boy is drinking water out of it, because there's thousands of gallons of water in it in Africa. Now, this is in Florida, this area of Florida called Hollywood. And what it has is it has these 5 trees. And these, so this guy kind of goes over here. You can see this Shiva god. Each tree, a lot of them are from India. And in India, they put ropes on trees. And so each of these 5 trees, this is further confirmation that, in fact, America is Babylon. It's part of Ham's land. And so in Florida, in this area called Hollywood, which they don't publicize at all, are these, I think it's 5 trees. I want to say 5 trees. And each one represents a Hamitic fallen god, like a Hamitic god. Okay. And the trees are Baobab trees, but they're specific to the lands of Ham that you would find in India and stuff, not necessarily Africa, okay? Except for, one of them is the Baobab that you would find in Africa. Now, there was a woman, an Asian Japanese woman. There was an Asian Japanese woman who built these fountains at one point, and they did this huge ceremony, and they just, in the video, this woman is just praising her to high heaven for developing these fountains. And these fountains are supposed to resonate off the vibration of the tree. And these trees, they say, oh, they're about 70 years old. Well, in fact, when you look at most Baobab trees, the Baobab trees that they have are probably about 500 years old or older, based on the size. So they're lying, you know. But what they're saying was that historically there might have been one bigger tree there, because this is actually built on a mountain, a mound or a mountain, which the tree may be on. And they're saying they think this water in the fountain is coming up out of where that tree was. Or is still. It's the trunk of the tree. Okay? It's the remnants of the tree. So that's what they're saying in this video. And so this is what I'm trying to show you guys. So this is how people store water in Africa. If there's a famine or a thirst or something, then it's actually, they can go to these trees and just drink water out of these trees. The trees store it. And so trees are connected to storing water. Because we know I think there was somebody in, can't remember if it was South America or Africa. There was a South American, I think it was a brother, maybe he was an Indian or something, but he planted trees for like 30 years in a region where there was a drought, and now there's water everywhere. So did Moses actually smite Yahusha on the cheek? That's the question. Just like he was eventually done to him, because I don't need to go over with it, you guys. Yahusha was slain from the foundation of the earth. Like my other video shows that skull. But here's something a little more. So I just was wondering if there is a connection between Moses striking that rock, which was a tree, and finding these fountains gushing out of it. Because when you read about even Prester John, it talks about a tree that the fountain of youth, fountains of water come out of. And what this man is saying, now this is all a bunch of paganism, so I don't want you to listen, I'm not advocating any of this spiritual nonsense. But what he does say is that they consider this to be like a fountain of youth, which is referred to in Prester John when he's in these Western lands, people drinking from this fountain of youth. And they say when you drink from the Baobab tree, that at whatever age you drink from, your body will be, and this is just probably mythology, I don't even know for sure, right? But your body will set at that stage, and your life will be prolonged at that stage forwards. So I just want to say Chartu is the one who said that when the rock was struck, it bled. And now I got this from Elliston Stone.
See what it says on this 1588 map, the year 1588, Africa Tablia. Let's scroll down to where that would be. So here we have, let's point out some of the areas here. This is written in Latin, as you can see, by the way. So here we see the Jalufa, the land of the Jalus or the Walus. We have Guinea. We have Benin, and this is in Latin, Benin's reign or their kingdom of Benin. But now let's go over to this area that was called Darnuba, right in this area here. And here we have this area, notice this, friends, written in Latin. Juderum terra. So what does this mean? Let's translate that. Look what it says. There's the Latin. There's the English. That's what this means. The land of the Jews. Man, it's deep, man. Every time I look at this, man, I get so emotional. So deep. And there it is. In the year 1588, in the 1500s. It's deep, family. It's deep, friends. It's deep. It's right there. The land of the Jews. And you know what else is so deep about this, brothers and sisters? And this map was of that same area. This is a map of the Congo region here, right there in Central Africa. Here's all over here would be where, as you can see on here, this would be where Nigeria, Benin, Ghana, Sierra Leone, all those areas. But then when you come down into this curve, here you're right in the same area. And look at that, Congo, Angola. And this was where many of the enslaved were taken from their villages, put on the slave ships.
No, I just wanted to comment. Last week when we were reading about the striking of the rock, first of all, it said the rock would give off would release the water in them. So that's the first thing. Interesting, you're talking about the trees.
Here.
Yeah. Wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago because Lindsay, I think, was there. I think.
Yeah, or no, it was Destiny was there.
Destiny,
I remember
sorry.
that.
Yeah.
I think in 2nd Ezra it says the rocks will start speaking.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
Isn't that interesting though?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm looking at Ezekiel 31 right now, and when it's talking about the tree that towered and its heights was in the clouds, and I don't know, one verse here says that abundant water was in its shoots. So
wow, which verse is that?
Verse 5. So Ezekiel 31 verse 5.
Wow. Do you want to read it?
Yeah. In the 11th year, in the 3rd month, on the 1st day of the month, the word of Yahuwah came to me. Son of man, say to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude, whom are you like in your greatness? Behold, Assyria was a cedar in Lebanon, with beautiful branches and forest shade, and of towering height, and its top among the clouds. The waters nourished it, the deep made it grow tall, making its rivers flow around the place of its planting, sending forth its streams to all the trees of the field. So it towered high above all the trees of the field. Its buffs grew large, and its branches long, from abundant water in its shoots. And then it goes on to say, all the birds of the heavens made their nest in its boughs, and the branches, all the beasts of the field, and all that. But I don't know.
Right. Oh my
Maybe.
gosh. So that's the great oak in Nebuchadnezzar's dream that spreads over the whole earth in Daniel and becomes Babylon. And so this is the one that has these, quote, its own style of living waters, but this is not a type of Yahusha. This is the living waters of the enemy kingdom.
I was just gonna say that rock, that little stone that hit the giant, he fell, he was bleeding, but then that rock became big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are all types of Yahusha, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Types of Yahusha. So Yahusha destroys even as a small rock that then eventually becomes a big mountain that destroys, that hits at Babylon and knocks it down. It's the same thing. Strikes the head first and then the foot. So strikes the beginning of the man and then the foot, the end of him. Right?
Yeah. And I think it's in Psalm 1, it says, blessed be the one who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly. He shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water that brings forth fruit. There's a lot of things about trees.
Trees and water.
And trees and water. I know you did a study once about trees, didn't you?
Yeah, I have that tree video, the great tree video. Since this mountain is in the center of Africa and Africa is at the center of the earth, this would be the top branch. And if indeed Yahusha is himself akin to the tree of life, he would have not only struck Yahusha, but struck the tree of life of the earth, the top branch of the earth, which is Africa, right? And is where the top of the tree is. And so we always have to just kind of wonder, this would be really the Congo. And you know, they have the vibranium there. So this is the highest point of this tree, if so. So it's an interesting thing to contemplate when we're looking for the location of Jerusalem, right? As usual. Thus saith Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel, ask of me things to come concerning my sons and concerning the works of my hands, command you me. And so this is one of those curious questions that seems to have been answered. This is what I'm wondering about. And also about the shape of the earth. I think just these mysteries of Yahuwah are just so beautiful to unveil. So I think that's why I wanted to share this with you guys. And yeah, I want to know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the top branch of the earth is on the continent of Africa, and that he struck Yahusha, who is the tree of life? Let me know in the comments. Shalom. Family, hallelujah. May Yah bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine on you. May he be gracious, lift the light of his countenance, and give you peace. Subah Yahuwah Rev Alep Yasharel. And we just thank you for the music of our brother Elliston Stone. And I would ask you also, family, that to the Most High Yahuwah, and giving thanks and praises for the many blessings. Please go ahead and pick up Into All Truth, Moed Appointed Times Calendar, or Chaya Eat Life and Fast to absorb the appointed times and also to support this ministry. You know that tithing is a command. I never ask for a whole tithe, but I do appreciate your support, and you have no idea how much it means to me, so I really thank you for it.
Let all of Yasharah, Yisrael, who love, worship, and praise Yahweh, give him thanks by saying hallelujah.